Have one good day, especially to our professor, Ma'am Gina Orashon. I'm Ferdinand Plaga, Maeg to English. So today I'll be presenting to you a research by Donna M. Corpus entitled Delving into the Phonological Know-Hows in English of the Mansaka College Students. One of the most difficult learning that the person will encounter is to learn another language which is different with what they have, especially with the influence of the mother tongue or dialect. In China, some Chinese speakers tend to have difficulty with English sounds because they are deeply influenced by similar Chinese sounds. In the Philippines, the common perception that English has been deteriorating can be seen as a case of indigenization, resulting in a language variety which qualifies as a dialect even if the process that gave rise to it differs from traditional accounts of dialectalization. In a certain school in Compostela Valley, where she currently teaching, most of the Mansaka students refuse to read because they might not able to read word with proper sound. So, the purpose of this phenomenological study is to explore and understand the phonological know-hows of the Mansaka College students in a certain school in Compostela Valley. Specifically, this study is conceived for the purpose of giving awareness to the public on how the situation can affect the learning of college students in dwelling with phonology of English. At this stage in the research, the phonological know-hows of the Mansaka College students will be generally defined as a phenomenon which will give clarity to the challenges faced by the educators in language teaching. In order to unveil the phonological know-hows of the Mansaka College students, the following questions are deemed necessary for the study. Number one, how will the students describe their perspective with regards to their English phonological proficiency? Number two, how does the native language affect the phonological know-hows of the students? Number three, what are the learning experiences that the students encounter with regards to the teaching of the English phonology? So these are the theories anchored to the study. The study gleaned in the emergent literacy theory, wherein the learned language starts from early in life and continues throughout and will affect the children's learning the second language. The study also gleaned to Haugen's 1953 approach to linguistic borrowing. He stated that linguistic borrowing is an example of cultural diffusion, the spread of an item of culture from people to people. It is the language of the learner that is influenced, not the language he learns. Research design. So this study utilized qualitative design, specifically employing the phonological know-hows of Mansaka College students. This study specifically employs the phenomenological qualitative research design in order to acquire the needed data for knowing the experience of the students who identified for having phonological problem. So in this study, she selected credible participants who can suffice the necessary data which was needed to her study. She interviewed 14 participants, 7 participants for in-depth interview or IDI, and 7 participants for focus group discussion or FGD, all whom were selected through purposive sampling. The researcher was the one who played multiple and dynamic roles in the search and in the research rather, and the primary responsible to the different tasks and application in the research. First is researcher, second is data collector, third is facilitator, and fourth the transcriber. A variety of methods can be used in phenomenological-based research, including interviews and conversation, face-to-face interview from in-depth interview, and focus group triangulation for cross-verification of data. She sent a letter of consent to the Mansaka Tribal Council of Elders stating the nature and focus of her study. So these are the data collection procedure. So another one is she conducted the interview, she ensured confidentiality, and respect the participants. The participants were oriented on the principal, objective, and purpose of the study, the procedure in data collection, and the participants' confidentiality. She conducted the focus group discussion. So for the data analysis refers to the process of classifying and interpreting linguistic material to make statements of meanings which are either implied or clearly depicted in the material itself. So first is the interview, second is arrange gathered data, third is thematic analysis or coding. So trustworthiness of a research study is important to evaluate its worth, which involve establishing credibility, transferability, dependability, and confirmability. So we should also consider the ethics. So ethical consideration, there are three basic principles on how to secure ethical consideration as suggested by Belmont 1974, which are accepted in our cultural tradition, particularly relevant to the ethics of research involving human subject. First is respect of person, second is beneficence, third, justice. So, results. Live experiences of the students upon being exposed to English phonology. Difficulty in learning English phonology, discrimination faced upon learning English phonology, English phonology learning strategies. So how the native language shapes the phonological know-hows of the students. Phonological influence of Mansaka in learning the English pronunciation. Mansaka as referent language in learning English phonology. Native language discrepancy to English sound. So the insights of Mansaka college students that can be shared to others in learning English phonology. Experiences as drive to learn the English phonology, beneficial implications of learning English phonology. So, lived experiences of the Mansaka College students upon being exposed to the teaching of English phonology. The following themes emerge from the results of the first stated question and the lived experiences of Mansaka students upon being exposed to English phonology, such difficulty in learning English phonology, discrimination faced upon learning English phonology, and English phonology learning strategies. So, difficulty in learning English phonology. Participants shared their struggles in learning English phonology due to the influence of their native language. They have difficulty in pronunciation, which is different from what they had learned from their community. So, discrimination faced upon learning English phonology. The participants encountered many discriminations along the way as they are learning English phonology. Backfight, bullying, teasing, and even degrading or the discrimination they have encountered that could somehow make them feel pity towards themselves. Expected difficulties and discriminations in learning the English phonology with the influence of their native language are particularly noticeable in their pronunciation and tone of speaking because it is different from the standard English phonology learning strategies. Despite of struggles and difficulties, the participants can still find a way in learning the English phonology. They have different strategies in dealing with English phonology, like reading, searching in the internet, and English speaking engagement. With the help of their strategies, the participants are able to learn English phonology and overcome difficulties. How the native language shapes the phonological know-how of the students. The following themes emerge from the results of the second question, how the native language shaped the phonological know-hows of the students, such as Mansaka as referent language in learning English, phonology, and phonological influence of Mansaka in learning the English pronunciation. Mansaka as referent language in learning English phonology. Instead of serving native language as pure hindrance to learning Participants find some factors that the native language will be their tool in learning English phonology. They make it as their preference to learning another language. Phonological influence of Mansaka in learning the English pronunciation. Influence is inevitable physically, emotionally, and even mentally. Influence may classify as beneficial and disadvantage. Participants share the factors influencing by the native language in acquiring the English phonology, particularly pronunciation, tonality, and enunciation. Such linguistic factors of native language have the major effect to their learning in English phonology. Insights of Mansaka College students that can be shared to IPs in learning English phonology. The following themes emerge from the results of the third question and the insight of Mansaka College students that can be shared to IPs in learning English phonology, such as beneficial implications of learning English phonology and the drive to learn the English phonology. Beneficial implications of learning English phonology. The participants are eager to learn English phonology for its beneficial implication to them. They believe that if they are good in English phonology, they may develop their phonological awareness, develop proper English pronunciation, enunciation, and utterance. They may also avoid discrimination and bullying, as well as to become a competitive individual for their community. The drive to learn the English phonology. Motivation has a great part in learning English phonology, especially for the participants who encountered struggle and difficulties. Despite of motivational difficulties, the participants are determined to continue learning. They are determined to understand the English language, particularly phonology, and accepting constructive criticism to develop their phonological know-hows. So these are the references of the research. So that would be all. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.